So Urbana 22 is going to be my fourth Urbana, and it's going to be the 10-year anniversary of my first Urbana in 2012. And going to these Urbanas over the years has really taught me a lot about mission and ministry in general, and really affected the way that I've pursued God's calling in my life. Going to Urbana, I've definitely learned that ministry and mission is something that's, it's a team sport. We need the whole body of Christ. Some people are gifted in language and they make great Bible translators. Some people have hearts that break for the incarcerated and give their lives to advancing God's kingdom values and criminal justice reform or something like that. Other people are involved in the business side of things or the prayer and intercession side of things. And Urbana really honors that and has taught me that God's mission really takes the whole body of Christ. And going to a conference like Urbana, there's just a ton of ways to learn how different parts of the body can fit into this mission that God has. Another thing that's really struck me about Urbana and affected the way that I do ministry is the priority placed on prayer. So I just know that a lot of people pray for Urbana. A lot of InterVarsity staff are praying. The speakers are getting interceded for. Just everything is being prayed for. And that's such a good reminder about what ministry and mission are about, because they're about God's power. They're not about our human frailty, but they're about God's power. My grandfather told me the church is a center of spiritual power, and that's true in the sense that that God is the one whose hand is on things to advance His purposes, to bring His healing and reconciliation and justice to bear upon situations. So if we're not praying, we're kind of missing the point. It's really about prayer, and Urbana has helped me learn that. It's also helped me learn about the integration of worship and mission, how these things really go together. It's not a coincidence that worship is such an important part of the Urbana Mission Conference. Worship and mission go together. They're like the inhale and the exhale of the church. We come together in worship, and we're sent out in the power of the Spirit to be faithful witnesses. And in my particular vocation, which has been mostly music ministry, I feel like God has used me more in building up the faith of people who are already in the church and helping people be disciples. But Urbana's helped me see how that's also part of the Great Commission. Because in that great passage in Matthew, where the Great Commission is, where we're sent to be sharing the gospel in all the places that we go, it also says teaching people to obey all that Jesus commanded. So teaching people to build their life on the rock of Jesus' teaching. And that's part of the mission of the church, and that's what I've been involved in. And Urbana has a place for that too. I made a commitment in 2012 to long-term mission, and probably because of various circumstances in my life, that has not involved going abroad or something like that. It's really involved local church ministry and ministry on a college campus. But Urbana has helped me see how that is part of mission. And going to Urbana really helps me stay connected to the point of mission, which is, sharing the gospel with those that you're with. And, last thing I would share is that my own personal story has been one that has involved a lot of chronic illness. And, it's made me ask difficult questions like, okay, how can God use me with my limitations? But I've learned, and in part this is through Urbana and experiencing that God can kind of use our limitations to funnel us exactly where He wants to be. And it might not be where you expect, and your commitment to serve and follow God might take you places you didn't expect. But God has been faithful to work even through the limitations to fulfill His purposes in and through me. And I've got a long way to go, but I'm really excited about it, and I'm excited to keep going deeper at Urbana 22.